All right, everyone. So, welcome everyone to our first Youth Service Education Libraries Committee meeting for this year. Want to make, and when I say year, I mean like obviously kickoff for this timeline of weird years that start after the summer, but wanted to make sure that I welcome anyone who's new. And then I quickly wanted to spend some time doing a few like just meeting expectations and then going into an agenda overview because there's a few changes. With that being said, meeting expectations, just making sure if you can and if possible, you are able to turn your camera on. I know we're not in person, but I want to make sure we are promoting as much community as possible by having our cameras on so we can see each other's faces. And then just making sure you are being active participants. So like asking questions, sharing any thoughts that come up, and making sure you are unmuted. I'm muted in the meantime, unless you are asking a question or speaking in that moment. So for both those things, is making sure you check really quick, is your camera on and are you muted, so we can continue with the meeting. All right, looks like we're all ready to go. For the most part, I'm gonna encourage our friends with their cameras on if they can turn it on. And then just an update to the agenda. I know that we're still trying to figure out the Brooklyn College
Oh
participant.
no, they're on, Ornella.
I'm here.
They're on.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I
I'm
can't
here.
see participants. Oh, there we go. Hey,
Hi,
Alan.
how you doing? Yeah,
Good,
I didn't have
good.
a WebEx account, so it took me a couple of minutes, but I'm good.
Don't worry, WebEx gave you a little hiccup on my way into. So with that being said, just a quick update to the agenda. For those that looked at it previously when we sent it out, it had 3 items on the agenda. Today we are going to be covering 2 specific medium items. The first is going to be Brooklyn College strategic plan, followed by the Neighborhood Advisory Board and DYCD. Originally we had an ACS portion of this, but unfortunately they were not able to join us today. We are going to make sure sometime in the future, the next meeting, that we're able to have them join us, but wanted to give you guys that update. And the last thing for agenda today is just any other business, and then closing. So with that being said, myself and Eric wanted to make sure we did just quick intros of ourselves for those that are new. So I'll start it off. My name is Ornella Parker, everyone. I've been talking to you this entire time. I am one of the co-chairs along with Eric. In my regular day, I'm a school principal. I run a K-4 school in Brownsville. This is my 11th year in education. So as you can see, education is dear to my heart, along with all the youth services and libraries. So that is just a little bit of my background and where I'm coming from. But outside of that, I love traveling. So if you want to talk locations, let me know. And then I love food. So if you have a new foodie spot that you want to share with me, also share that. Eric, I'm gonna kick it over to you.
All right. My name is Eric Ost, and I also love food. And so I think that sums it up. I've been, this is my third year co-chairing of the Youth Services Education Libraries, or maybe second year, and third on the community board. I've been in education for 20 years. I was a New York City high school teacher for the last 8. And right now I'm on a leave of absence being a dad to my 3 kids. So that's me. And we have new board members tonight from our committee. So welcome to all the Youth Service Education Libraries Committee board members and all other board members and members of the public. So I think we're going to go right into our agenda. First up, we have representative from President Anderson's office, I believe. Alan is here, and presenting on Brooklyn College's new strategic plan, 2024 to 2029. I was looking at it.
Okay, great.
So welcome, Alan. We'll give the floor to you, and after you present, we'll open up for questions and comments.
Okay, great. Well, thank you all. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here to present to you on our strategic plan. Yeah, my name is Alan Gilbert. I'm the Senior Vice President for Finance and Administration at Brooklyn College. So I oversee things like the budget, accounting, facilities, campus safety, human resources, IT, etc. And I was one of the co-chairs of the college's strategic plan, along with our provost, April Bedford. We had a committee of around 18 or so steering committee members, and we spoke to well over 1,000 people on the campus. We wanted to speak to you and other external partners, and unfortunately, no one was available at the time. We were doing listening tours, but the strategic plan that we came up with is a live plan. So we didn't we didn't write a 100-page document that's going to list a whole lot of things that we may or may not get to. We have general strategic priorities and action statements within them. And we're going to work on our annual goals with each of those priorities and statements, every year. Because of what we learned from our last strategic plan, which was a very detailed, document that had a lot of specifics. When COVID happened, none of that mattered anymore. Our world changed significantly, and we wanted to make sure that hopefully we don't have anything close to that ever again. But we wanted to make sure we had a document and a plan that was more fluid in nature. And when situations change, both for the good or challenges, we'd be able to adopt any changes quickly and still make it within the realm of our strategic plan. I don't know, have all of you seen our plan or aware of our plan in any way? I'm not really sure about that, but I can tell you where to find it, I guess, and then
I can.
okay.
Do we have a chat function in this? Do we? I'm not sure we do. Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I'll post a link of the strategic plan. People can look at
Great.
it now, but I think we'll be able to post it to our website and share.
Oh, great, excellent. Yeah, and it is on it's on our college website, so that's what I just opened up now, actually, on my end. But if you have the link, that's great. There. Yeah. So I'll wait a second for you to get it up there. In case people want to open it.
You have it right here. Hang on. So I just dropped the link in the chat.
Yes, that's the one. And why it says isu.com, because ISU is like a third party, and that allows the document to be like a flip document. So when you open up the booklet, it reads like a booklet versus just 20 or so static pages. So it looks real nice on there. So the beginning parts of the plan, let me just turn to mine. Again, it's a 17-page document, give or take. So it starts with like a history of the college, and information. So it was a letter from President Anderson, and we did an economic impact study over the last year. So this is some of the information in terms of about the college and about some of the impact of the college in terms of future earnings for individuals, that Brooklyn College over students' working life, the benefit to Brooklyn College to society is $6.9 billion. That taxpayers reap 3.7 times return on investment in investing in Brooklyn College, with a lot of nice pictures of. I don't know, has everybody here been to Brooklyn College? Been on the campus? We do have a beautiful campus in Flatbush. We have more data on our reputation, and then talk about some of the highlights of the college, some of our wonderful programs in mentoring, a little more about who we are, our purpose, mission, vision, and values. And then we get to our strategic priorities. So we came up with 5 of them: transformative academic excellence, strategic funding, campus community, campus infrastructure and collaboration and external engagement. And the work we would do with your community boards, certainly falls under collaboration and external engagement, because we're looking to really improve and increase our collaboration with our external partners, especially the ones within the Brooklyn College community, because we have very comparable goals and objectives for the area. So we definitely want to work more with you, get your sense of how Brooklyn College fits into the community, where you think the college could help you, where you think you may be able to help the college, etc. on that. So I guess that's covers the plan. Obviously, you need more time to look it over, but I could certainly answer any questions about how you think the college could work more collaboratively with your board.
Thank you for that, Alan. Appreciate you. I will first open it up to the committee members, subcommittee members. If you have questions, comments, I see that our board chair, Carl Henry Cesar, is on here as well. And yeah, so I'll open it up.
It looks like one person has her hand raised. No.
It's me, Sean Campbell, but I was going to yield to board members to go first for the co-chair's invitation.
Okay.
Well, other
Cornella.
board members or district manager, please weigh in if you have questions as well.
Yeah, it looks like Cornella has her hand raised.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was also weighing in. So Sean, you could go first and I'll go right after you.
I just simply wanted to provide some context and offer some thanks to Brooklyn College, because the school has been a wonderful community partner and has hosted our youth conference, our annual youth conference, several times. We worked closely with the president's office more before COVID, and I'm really hoping that we can regenerate that more frequent contact on service delivery issues. I mean, there's not as much Con Ed work bothering you around the campus these days, but we do appreciate everything you've done to support the community in general and partner with the community board. So looking forward to a deeper dive into this strategic plan and trusting that you all will also look at especially the youth section of our district needs statements, and we'll continue to collaborate on the youth conferences that moves forward, because whether you've hosted it or simply participated in it, we appreciate that that relationship, and we will certainly maintain it.
Right. Yeah, and if you want to send me the document, I'll forward it to the president and our external relations, person, and you probably know Ludovic Leroy.
Yeah, terrific guy. Yeah, we'll do. Thank you.
He just couldn't make it tonight, so.
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
Sean, I'm looking through, sorry, it's hard for me to see, so used to Zoom. Oh, here on WebEx, I'm seeing people who are here, and I just wanted to acknowledge we have some representatives for the district in the meeting here. I believe Brittany Dixon from Assemblymember Cunningham's office, and Michelle Ohiela, correct me if I'm mispronouncing your name. Ojello, sorry, thank you. From Member Rodney's Bichette Hermelin's office. And so I wanted to, if you guys would like to address the body, either of you, please, you can do so as well.
Well, I've been getting invitations, so I wanted to join and get involved. I'm actually physically located remotely. So this is one of the community meetings that I can participate in since I'm not local. So I'm looking forward to working with you all.
Thank you for being here.
Sorry, similarly, again, my name is Brittany Dixon. My apologies if there is some background noise. I'm at a local cafe. But yes, it is a pleasure to be here. I would love to hear what the community has to say. And I do also look forward to just listening in and conveying any information that I do get from this meeting to the community as it relates. So pleasure to be here and meet everybody.
Great, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Are there other questions for Alan? I think I did have two things in terms of clearly the strategic priority. The last one, the collaboration and external engagement, enhancing collaboration, communication to foster community engagement, cohesive, transparent, efficient community engagement. And one that specifically jumped out thinking about youth fostering external partnerships with business, nonprofits, government agencies to enhance educational career opportunities, internships, community engagement. I was thinking kind of Brooklyn College, if you could maybe tell us a little bit about the kind of partnerships that you guys have and that you're fostering, and just tell us a little bit more about that strategic priority and what you guys were thinking.
Okay, so again, Ludovic Leroy is really the expert on this. He does this. I could talk about the things that I'm aware of. We're trying to do a lot more with corporations, and really, connected to internships for our students. We think that's critical to have built-in relationships where students could go work. We work with Aon. We're working more with Ramble in terms of a lot of environmental things and having our students, really do that type of work and research, in addition to all our internships and mentoring programs we have on campus. We love to do more in terms of youth work, because we love to get the community involved in learning more about Brooklyn College, and hopefully get younger people to look at Brooklyn College to a place they want to aspire to go to when they hit college age as well. We have a lot of relationships with the high schools across the area. We run programs called College Now, where high school students could take 4 credit classes at Brooklyn College as part of that program, and they could learn, they could get credits. They could start college and they can come in already with credits. We are piloting this semester a similar type program for private and parochial schools as well, to try to again brought in our reach. We think it's really important that the students learn, get more credits, especially at cheaper prices, that they could jump in and maybe already have 12, 15, 24 credits. You could knock a year off their studies, or at least make them, maybe they don't have to take as many classes per term if they still want a 4-year experience, and could really maybe focus on taking 12 credits a semester compared to 15 credits a semester, especially when they're starting out, because college could be a tremendous transition, to people, especially the students coming in now had a significant disruption, not so long ago. And, we know that we have to provide more support to many of these students who spent a year, learning online without any prior experience, to them, and to their teachers, who never had to do it miraculously, and even on the college, had to learn how to teach effectively online. And I think, all things considered, I think people did a great job. We do have youth programs on campus. We have a preparatory center for music and the arts, where we have like dance and do instrument training, etc. The classes pretty much for the most part run on the weekends, but there are some during like evenings after school. We have a theater on campus. We try to bring shows to the community. Currently, the theater's closed for, hopefully it's only another few weeks. We had a steam leak, and the ceiling was compromised a bit. So of course we can't, until we get the assessment done, we can't, have anyone use the theater, but we are in the process of getting netting installed, and then it could be assessed, and hopefully the netting protects the audiences, and we're looking forward to resume those things, as soon as possible. We want to get audiences to the campus. We run children's shows, we run adult shows, community shows, etc. And many of our high schools and junior high schools have their graduation in our theater. So we definitely want to continue to accommodate that as well. And we're looking to always try new things and build different relationships, or hopefully there could be synergy with some of the other things you're working on. We love to have tours of the campus. The campus is beautiful. We have to do some work on the inside. It's a 70-plus-year-old campus, so sometimes that's why we have steam leaks and things. But if you haven't seen our grounds are beautiful. We have this amazing lily pond that's truly spectacular. We have a great athletics field. We rent it out for some soccer programs. So we have youth soccer programs that come and they use our field. We have sporting events that, the community is welcome to attend, other things as well, speakers occasionally that the public is invited to. So there's really a lot going on at Brooklyn College. We're still recovering from the pandemic, as I think everybody is. So we do have less students than we had pre-pandemic, but our enrollment has grown over 3% this fall. And we haven't had that for a while, so we're excited about that trend. And we think it's just getting more people on our campus, getting to learn about the programs we have, the offerings, the beautiful grounds. It's like you wouldn't believe if you went to our quad that we're in the middle of Midwood and Flatbush in Brooklyn. It looks like it's Harvard. People say that we're kind of Brooklyn's Harvard. That's what the ground, those beautiful Georgian style buildings are right in the neighborhood. And we definitely want to get more people there. So again, I think that Ludovic could certainly explain more programs, etc. But again, we all would love to get people on the campus and really learn more about what we do and continue to grow as a partner for the whole community. The Business Improvement District has their offices on our campus, and we're part of the Business Improvement District as well.
Okay. You also have a pool that the community can use. I know that you do swim lessons. And the swim lessons, I'll just say this as a parent, my father-in-law is a associate professor, or not an adjunct professor at Brooklyn College, and he gets a very good deal for swimming as a physics professor. But families can also
we do have family memberships, community memberships. I know Blink is right around the corner, but the advantage, we have the pool.
Yeah,
and people love the pool.
The pool is nice, and I would just say it's a little pricey if you're not a student.
Yes.
It's I would say difficult, but anyway, it's really it's nice. And my family, you mentioned the Youth Preparatory Center. I do think that the word needs to get out about the program even more, because I did some digging to find it. My daughter took part in some of the dance this past year, but yeah, people that I talked to didn't know that was on Brooklyn College campus. So I would like to partner and work with you in ways that we can to get the word out about those. I think you're right. The more people who come and just do things on campus and are able to access it, you'll get more. So I agree with that.
The program actually reports through me, one of my people. They oversee it, and they have concerts there. That you hear these young children or young adults perform, and they're really quite good. And it's a very high quality program. And
the
students have been
program
going there.
Impressive. The young people
very
are
impressive.
Going to the music program, very impressive.
Yeah. And we have a conservatory of music on our campus, so sometimes students go directly into that program, but they also go into like the national programs in music based on what they learn, because there's group lessons and there's sometimes private lessons as well. So it's really quite the program. If you want, if you let me you could send me your email address. I could ask my team to send you some materials. And if you guys can help get the word out, that would be amazing.
Yeah, if you send them to the info@CB14 email address, then they'll come to the office and they'll spread the word. That's
okay. That's the one on the invite. Is that the same email address?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean's saying it. So yeah, if you send it to there, and then that'll be the widest reach. Okay. I did want to ask you one other question. You mentioned that Brooklyn College has relationships with high schools for kids to get early credits. Are you guys an early college high school partner, like with very specific schools, or can high school students in general, like, are you partnering with particular schools and they're shepherding kids into the program, or can high school students just apply to specific college courses?
Okay, well, so we're both. We have two high schools on our campus. We have Brooklyn College Academy is on our campus. The students do half of their coursework, I think freshmen and sophomores, at their off-site location. And then as juniors and seniors are taking all their classes at Brooklyn College.
Okay.
We also have Star High School on our campus. I think it's science, technology, and research. With college now, the way CUNY does it, different high schools are assigned to different campuses. So I think we have 4 or 5 campuses that our college now program works with, but any high school student can go within the high school and, learn which CUNY college is connected to that high school overall. And I said, yeah, we are piloting, working with private and parochial schools as well.
Great. And if high school principals were interested in connecting and getting their kids to take classes, who would they reach out to at the college to do that?
It would be at the university, actually. So because the university runs the program, but our college now director is Parana Peroni, and the AVP is Lillian O'Reilly. So I'll send you Lillian's information. She's the vice president for enrollment management. Great. And she can get more information. Yeah.
I think that would be certainly of interest at our youth conference. I know there's a lot of people that come through our youth conference that we hold. Are you familiar with the youth conference? Alan, Community Board 14 has been for over a decade. Sean can correct me for how many years exactly, but have been mounting a youth conference in it'll be March this year, and it is services, programs, internships, opportunities for young people in the district. And we've hosted it at Brooklyn College in years past. I would imagine this kind of information would be great because a lot of high school teachers and directors and things that come through. But anyway, I feel like I've been talking a lot. Other people have questions, or Sean, would you like to weigh in?
Can I weigh in here for a little? I did have 2 questions. The first is one, Alan, thank you so much for joining us and sharing this information.
Oh, you're welcome.
In regards to the strategic plan, the same part around like collaboration and external engagement. I know you're here tonight as part of like that external engagement piece. Outside of like our community board, what other and I know you talked about like some corporations that you guys are using and like you wanted to increase the youth part of it. What other methods are you using right now as you guys are moving forward with your strategic plan to get like more insight on like what other people in the community want for engagement?
Well, I think Ludovic Leroy is doing a lot of that. Currently, in addition to this role, he's also serving as our interim assistant vice president for marketing and communication. So and we have a search in progress. So I think once that search is completed, it will free up a lot of his time. And I know he's going to be actively, going out across the community. He works with our elected officials, as well as community organizations. So he would certainly, I guess, if you had information about other organizations, he'd be the one to send it to. And then of course President Anderson will, she's always available, and she would coordinate with Ludovic on meetings, etc., like that.
Yeah, and thank you for that. And then my second and final question is around I guess like how you disperse information for like all the amazing things that are on your campus. So I went to Midwood, right across the street from Brooklyn College, and the funny thing is, yesterday I was talking to one of my classmates. Won't tell you what year I graduated, but we were talking about the College Now program back then, where you were able to like start taking college courses while attending Midwood. I was aware of it, but my counterpart that was in the same program as me wasn't aware of it. So I'm just curious around like what does like disbursement of information look like so that other people know and people in the community know what's like at what they could access at Brooklyn College.
Yeah, so I think college now is generally through the high schools and the university to the college. So I think a lot of it would have to do with Midwood, where they would reach out, and I think they're doing a lot better at that. Our program continues to grow, but I think you're getting students were more, I think more and more students now are trying to get the extra credit coming in. Cause again, it gives you a head start on college, and you also seeing, do you like college? College isn't necessarily for everybody. And I think being in a college class, often on the college campus, for college now, sometimes we do it at the high school, sometimes they actually do it at the college. I think Midwood does a little more at the college because they're right there, they're across the street from us. But I think just students being on a college campus, it means a lot versus just taking a college level class at the high school. It's still at the high school. Yeah. So I think definitely, I think every person now, even starting middle school or elementary school, there are a lot more programs now to really introduce students to college, introduce students to internships. It's a very competitive market now, and employers look at internships even when students are in junior high school and high school, not just college. It's again, a lot of the high schools now are competitive high schools, so getting all that aligned as well, I think is really important. But trying to really have parents understand what everything means, I think that's really the key, because it's there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of information overload, and I think working parents knowing at the junior high schools or at the high schools what's available, I think goes a long way.
I'm so happy you brought that point up. When you think about external partnerships, are you guys doing collaborations with like parent groups to get the information to them? As like you said, for the most part, the way kids will either learn it is through school or through their parents, right?
Yeah, I think our enrollment management team is doing more. They're building connections with high schools. I think we went through the period of time where we didn't have campus visits for a couple of years. It wasn't, people weren't comfortable. At some point, we had a closed campus for around a year where only people who were authorized to be on campus were even allowed to enter the campus. 2000, 2001. And then people were sometimes afraid. We didn't have as many in-person open houses because people still weren't ready for that. We did a lot of things on Zoom. We started last year, doing open houses on campus. And I think people love being on the campus. And so I think we have a lot of information always on our website about that. But we are building relationships with a broader range of high schools across the borough. Brooklyn is still our main feeder. We don't have dorms, we don't have housing. So it's a little trickier, to get students to come here from other states or other countries. We have some, but they have to find their own housing. So that could sometimes be a challenge, and expensive for that matter. But we definitely are building more and more bridges with our high school partners. Because again, I know with me personally, a while ago, but I didn't go to Brooklyn. I went to Baruch, even though I live in Brooklyn. But it was because of a high school advisor who said, "You're interested in accounting. Baruch's the place to go if you're staying in CUNY." And I think we want, again, they didn't promote Brooklyn. She didn't promote Brooklyn, and Brooklyn we have a great accounting program too, and we are accredited now. We weren't when I went. We're recently accredited, maybe less than 10 years. But we want the high school advisors who speak to the students, who speak to the parents, to know as much about Brooklyn College as possible, because we're a viable option for many students. We don't have it. If you're interested in nursing, probably not the place to go. If you're interested in medicine, we're actually the place to go, because you get a great education to pre-med education to really help you get into a great medical school after you get your degree. Because studies show that having a good liberal arts foundation makes for a good doctor with good bedside manner, and it being able to communicate with patients is not just the diagnostic part, it's the communication part, that many people who are so nervous want someone who treats them with respect and could able to speak with them. And I think as we're working with high school advisors, it gives us more ability to get the word out. Working more with the community boards will help us get the word out more, so people will see Brooklyn College is a great college and very viable, and will not put people into debt that some more expensive colleges may do. You can go to Brooklyn College and graduate debt free, because there are many, grants and that students are eligible for financial aid reports to me. We start with during students coming to the colleges or just to apply or learning about the college. We try to give students and parents an orientation into financial aid and really try to explain to people you don't lose anything by applying. You only can gain. And we again, I don't believe in loans unless that's the only option. And we don't push loans on people. If people want loans, we help them go through the process. But there are many grants out there tapped for New York State residents. They can cover tuition, and then Pell. We also have a lot of scholarships out there that students can apply for. So one of the events at Brooklyn College, you can graduate debt free and not have to worry about paying, back thousands of dollars, that, could take you, a decade or two to pay back. And really it makes it harder as people are starting to start their career, parents who sometimes have to assume extra debt, because they're covering it. Many of our students, most, graduate debt free. And they get, I'm not Brooklyn, I'm CUNY at Baruch. My education is equivalent to many of my friends who went, to private schools. There's certain thing for residential experience that I think it is valuable as well. But in terms of education, Brooklyn College certainly stands up to that. We have study abroad programs so students could, go to other countries and take classes there. Again, we have great mentorship programs, so you can get a really well-rounded, great education at Brooklyn and get contacts from our alumni. We work very closely with our alumni who give students guidance, who sometimes give them internships, and so it's really a great community.
Al, you're making me want to get back into school right now. I'm ready.
We have master's
I
programs.
got to work on my application right now. I'm going back.
We have two new fully online master's program, one in business, one in accounting, and we're developing one in finance. So we're looking to have programs for anybody.
How did you know?
So, and the online programs, we're getting like hundreds of students enrolled. It's like our second year. We have hundreds of students in the online program, and it's really convenient because it's like half a semester each. So you could finish it in pretty quickly, and we're getting rave reviews about the program.
Alan, thank you so much for coming and for being here. I'm just gonna, does anyone else, any other board members, community members, have a question or comment? I do see.
Yeah, you've had Florencia's hand up and Nina's hand up for a bit.
Right. For some reason, I can't see the hands on my chat. So,
and it looks like Carl's hand is up too.
All right. Florencia, go ahead.
Hi. Okay. Good night, Alan. Thank you. And as a graduate of Baruch College as well, I say thanks. The rest of my family members actually went to Brooklyn College. I just wanted to ask, in your partnership with the elected officials, because I see many of them hosting job fairs, at other schools and centers. So I just wanted to know if you would would have such a collaboration at Brooklyn College as well. And to ask, have you ever considered, I know you have a fine arts program there. Have you ever considered like partnering like with the Brooklyn Museum and your elected officials and or other corporations to host like, an exhibition for your past and current students? I think that would be something that would also bring families and friends and, and give exposure as well.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. We just opened up an art gallery, actually, that our art department is running. We had a soft launch in the spring, and we have a more formal launch this fall. So again, and we're looking to exhibit not only student work and faculty work, but also other artists. We have a great career center called the Magner Center, and they're constantly working to develop partnerships as well. Again, it could be something that, with Ludovic, it's under the same portfolio as Ludovic is under. and so he could definitely give even more information on that. But we have so many departments involved in so many different things, and it's building more of these partnerships, especially as it's a key part of our strategic plan. We all think it's a win-win. It helps the organizations, but it helps the college and getting people more familiar with Brooklyn College.
And if there's a
Thank you for that, Alan.
sorry.
I found the hand. Sorry, Florencia, did you? Carl, did you?
Sean, thank you.
Sorry, Florencia. Carl, do you? Your hand is up still. All right, we'll come back to Carl. Nina, I see your hand up.
Nina, you're muted.
I don't know.
Still, there you go. Now you're unmuted.
My WebEx has been wacky all evening. I don't know what's going on. So it is what it is. Thank you, Mr. Gilbert.
Please call me Alan.
Hey, Alan, since you mentioned nursing programs, I am a professor of nursing through CUNY at York College. Excellent, excellent nursing programs. So, very competitive, but you can send them our way. My question particularly with the high school program, I guess has to do with tuition and affordability. And when Eric brought up the cost of the pool, I had to laugh because it's beyond my means and they don't give dispensation to other CUNY professors. But but in terms of the other kinds of things that you have at Brooklyn College, and particularly the kind of early college programs, how does that work in terms of tuition and affordability?
Okay. So the College Now program, that and STAR and Brooklyn College Academy, the affiliate high schools, those are all free. Those are paid for by state and city funding. Some of it is through the high schools. Some of it is through CUNY in terms of those programs, and a lot of it is shared. So all those programs are free. In terms of our new pilot for private and parochial schools, is we're coming up with a comparable cost. It's not covered by the state funding because they're not state high schools, but the costs are very reasonable. It's not full tuition, and we work with the high schools on that. In some private high schools, the high school may pay part of it. Depends on the tuition they charge the students, but it's even then it's a reasonable price for the tuition that will save a lot of money when the students actually start, because they won't have to pay the full tuition. It's not eligible for financial aid, so that's the trade-off. But the programs that we're trying to develop relationships with, and it's still new, will have information in terms of what it will actually cost. Some will make the student pay and family pay directly. Some will cover part of it, and some of them may fully cover it as part of the tuition they're charging their students, because it's a good opportunity to get more students in, because you could now actually take classes at Brooklyn College and get credit for them.
And then when if they transition into the regular college program, they would then be eligible for Pell and
when they matriculate into the college, they'd be able to apply for TAP and for Pell and for other grants and other scholarships.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Carl had some issues with his WebEx, but he texted me his question. So I'll just read you. His first question was, is the strategic plan available in multiple languages? For Haitian, Creole, Urdu, Spanish, is it available in any other languages?
Not at this time. We've heard about admissions and enrollment information to be available in other languages. So I'll reach out to the team. Ludovic's part of that because he's doing marketing now, and just get a sense of, if that's in the queue.
Okay, and I think this will be our last question. We really appreciate your time. So Carl's last question was, is if mental health was a part of the academic or strategic funding priorities?
Oh, definitely. We have a personal counseling office that provides free counseling, mental health counseling to all of our students. That's one of the offices we've have built up over the last couple of years because the need for students is definitely, much greater than it was 5 years ago. It's under our Division of Student Affairs, and it's totally confidential. And, I know many students avail themselves of it. We also have a health clinic on campus. It's funded by student activity fees, so students pay tuition, and they also have some programs that charge an extra fee. People love our health clinic. They provide great confidential service to students. Covers things from birth control to general ailments to from whether it's like you have a cold, you have the flu, or people have bigger concerns. Many of our students and their families cannot afford healthcare, and it's sort of a bridge to that for some basic things. And we'll help advise people if something is more complicated, what they need to do, if they need something more. But again, we take all that very seriously at the college because we know many people in our community are first generation college students, and many have parents that weren't born in this country but immigrated to this country. And again, we're a melting pot. We have like over 100 languages that are spoken, countries that people came from. I think that's what makes us so great, the diversity. We have so much diversity in so many different ways, and even in challenging times in the world, and it's challenging times in the world, we try to promote open speech and open communication, and have many classes where students learn about different cultures. And we see in many cases it brings people together.
Well, on that note, with a celebration of Brooklyn and Brooklyn College right there, I just want to thank you so much for coming and speaking to the community board and sharing. And we will share out and disseminate information that you send to us. And we appreciate answering all our questions and reaching out.
Oh, sure. And you have my email address if you need me, and just say you're part of the community board, because so much email comes in, and I don't answer things if I don't know where it's coming from, because there's a lot of spam and stuff going out there.
Right. Now we know the secret to getting through. Just write community board in the subject line. You'll get through.
Community board 14, and I'll know it's.
All right, that's fantastic.
May not remember all your names, but I'll know, and I'm really good about responding. I was brought up to treat everybody with respect, so I respond to all my email in a timely manner.
Well, on that note, Mr. Gilbert, if you would like to stay, we'd invite you to stay. We have another guest on. We understand if you have to go. And
as we were talking, one of my staff members gave me a call. We're in audit season, so I'm going to have to, unfortunately, give her a call back, give Beatrice a call back. But she's another Brooklyn College graduate. Yeah, and now she's our controller. So, but I enjoyed meeting with you all. Hopefully, I get to meet you all again.
Well, you can always
be in touch.
Yeah, be in touch. Definitely. Thank you. Yeah. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
All right. I'm going to toss to Ornella to introduce our next guest.
Yes. So next on our agenda, as discussed earlier, we have a presentation on opportunities for community partnership by both Hannah Zarzar, who is on the Neighborhood Advisory Board, and Lily Das Caputa. Did I say that right?
Gupta.
Is that okay?
Yes, Sanjay Gupta. He was CNN correspondent, Sanjay Gupta. So yeah, that's the same name.
Yes. Let me make sure I get it right, because names are important. So is Das Gupta? Did I say correct this time?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is a DYCD community liaison. For those that are not familiar with the Neighborhood Board and DYCD, The neighborhood advisory board provides residents of like low income communities with an opportunity to help DYCD identify funding opportunities. The neighborhood advisory board members are responsible for identifying needs within local communities, and DYCD then takes the findings into consideration when they're thinking through funding. And then for those, for DYCD specifically, it's a agency that supports New York City youth and their families by funding a wide range of different youth and community development programs. So we're really excited to have both of you here tonight to talk through the opportunities for community partnerships. So I turn it over to both of you.
Sure. So I'm going to just take a lead and then I'm going to introduce Hannah Zarzar. My name is Lily Das Gupta. So I am a liaison for 9 boards, which I'm handling. Brooklyn, 2 boards from Queens, 1 from Bronx, and 5 from Brooklyn, and District 14 falls under me. And at the same time, I am managing the role as a borough manager for the Bronx. That's from the DYCD title, you know. But thank you so much for having me and Hannah. We were actually trying to be, you know, in this meeting. I mean, me and Hannah was speaking like how we can just get into community board meeting, because what DYCD does, you know, we are handling all the community's issues. So it's a long presentation, but today I have some family emergencies. So I'm going to just be a brief, and I'm going to introduce Hannah Zarzar, you know, after speaking my role. Hannah Zarzar is going to talk about Neighborhood Advisory Board because she is recently elected as a NAB chairperson from the Brooklyn, right? So that's a volunteer role, but we are so lucky to have her because she's proactive. She's contributing so much in the community, you know, starting from mental health to a lot of other areas. So my role as a liaison, I conduct a lot of meetings with the community, and I try to, you know, attend all the community board and all the nonprofit organization meeting, because DYCD is a community action agency. Probably you know that, and we are running several programs, you know, youth program, homeless shelter runaway program, and there's so many. I mean, it's right now is not in my head, but it was in presentation, which I had a plan to give a presentation, but I have some family emergency because my daughter is really not well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn over to Hannah Zarzar, who's a neighborhood chairperson, and she is going to talk about why we are here in the terms of neighborhood advisory board role, because we are trying to recruit some volunteers, since neighborhood advisory board always recruit volunteers, and these volunteers is basically working to empower the community. You know, neighborhood advisory board 14, if has some issue, not from the perspective of the community board, but from the perspective of neighborhood advisory board, because what DYCD does, we allocate funding to local CBO, community-based organization, and those funding goes to the local community, you know, and the community should aware of it because they are the one who is going to utilize these opportunities. So neighborhood advisory board member like Hannah Zarzar, she's a chairperson from the Brooklyn. She has really vital role in the community. So I actually asked her, you know, set up the meeting with the community, because that's my board. And then beside that, we are working with a lot of other organizations just to have the visibility, because a lot of people, they don't know what DYCD and what NAB does, you know. We are allocating $14.1 million funding throughout the New York City, but a lot of people, they are not aware of it. They don't know how many nonprofit organization is running across the New York City and what kind of services they can utilize, you know. So I am, you know, since I'm promoted as a borough manager, I'm just taking the lead, and I'm trying to make sure that all the chairperson are proactively engaged in the community work. So here you go. You have a Hannah Zarzar, and we are so lucky to have her. By the way, Sean, I know you, and you and I met so many times. Probably you don't know my face, but we just encounter so many times in the Foster, what do you call Foster Avenue, you know, where the Pakistani communities, a lot of time they do Pakistan. I'm born and raised in India. So
I do know you, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I will also just echo that Hannah's been great. She's very proactive and made sure it happened.
yeah, so I'm not going to stay online now because my daughter is really not well, and I just wanted to be part of it because it was my first meeting, and you know, I know how important it is. from the community perspective. So I'm going to just hand over to Hannah. She's going to give a presentation about Neighborhood Advisory Board. But thank you so much, all of you. But in next meeting, we're going to talk about all the program DYCD is running. Thank you.
Thank
Hannah,
you
you
so
good?
much, Lily.
No,
Yeah,
thank you. Okay, perfect.
okay, well,
You want to?
Lily, thank you so much. That was really a very generous presentation. Representation of how I'm going to start this off. So I do want to thank Lily for the support that she's given and the direction. She was recently given an award for her dedication to DYCD. So I do want to thank her for all her dedication. And I do want to resonate the importance that she said about the community and our role in the community, and how much that we need to listen to the community in order to hear them, and in order to be able to provide the funds for the right organizations, and that way it's allocated to the correct organizations, so that the right people are getting the right care that they needed through the activities that they are performing in their organizations. And so that's part of what we do. So the New York City Department of Youth and Community Development, which is actually DYCD, they have a mission. Their mission is that New York City, that they invest in a network of community-based organizations and programs to alleviate the effects of poverty and to provide opportunities for New Yorkers and communities to flourish. Okay, so honestly, I'd like to share the presentation with you so that you can, share along with me, if that's okay with you.
That sounds great.
So I've never done it on this platform, but let's see.
You see the little folder with the up arrow at the bottom of your screen? There you are. Yeah, you see it, you're on it. Well done.
Yes. Okay, so a little bit about my background. I am a Board of Education teacher. I've been teaching for 10 years, and before that I had a private daycare, and I've been in the education system for I would say about 26 years. So education is very important to me. And I also, as far as food that you were talking about before, I used to run a food pantry, and I handed the presidency over to my son, because once I entered the Board of Education, it became a conflict of interest. So he runs it now, and it's, the food is a very important issue. And now that I'm in NAB, I understand a lot of the important needs that a lot of the people have. Okay, so, all right, going back to the presentation. So the vision statement is that DYCD strives to improve the quality of life of New Yorkers by collaborating with local organizations and investing in the talents and assets of our communities to help them develop, grow, and thrive. And the NABs, which are the Neighborhood Advisory Boards, are part of a national initiative called Community Action. So as you know, all the CBs, they are part of a community action as well. And we're established to include the communities in decisions on programs and services in order to alleviate the effects of poverty. Okay, and it's about 20% of poverty levels. So a little bit of a history is that in 1964, President Johnson, he puts in a plan for a war on poverty, and Congress passes the Economic Opportunity Act, and that requires the maximum feasible participation of the community residents in, and which created the community action programs. In 1981, which is about 20 years later, Community Services Block Grant, which is called CSBG program, that was the that was established. In 1987, overall operating document is created, which are the rules governing the conduct of the CSBG program in New York City. And then in 1996, which is 10 years later, NAB laws, the bylaws were created. Okay, so there was a long journey from 1964 to 1996 until the bylaws were created, and here we are. So the neighborhood advisory boards, or the NABs, they're comprised, they have residents who help with the program priorities. Okay, so if we don't have the residents helping us, you know, it's really very different, because there's a lot of people that they don't have like an investment in the NABs, because they're not really understanding like what's going on in the community, and they're more like, I would say, like financially invested in it, and they're not really understanding like what another community member might need in order to satisfy, like, I guess some of the grants that are out there. And then our NAB liaison, like Lily, she's there to help with the technical assistance and the guidance to ensure that all the policies and procedures actually go through. Okay, and she's been a really big help and support to me, I have to tell you that. All right, so here's the structures and the member responsibilities. Okay, there's 41 neighborhood development areas, and that's called an NDA. Okay, so a lot of times you hear NDA and you may confuse it with NAB. The maps of the NDA are very different from the NABs. Maybe one day we can do it side by side so you can see the differences. The borders are quite different, and they're not like, you know, like regular boundaries that we would see on a map. They're very oddly shaped. And so anytime somebody wants to know which district they're in, either the NDA or the NAB, they really need to, you know, get looked up and see. And sometimes the borders, they move based on, you know, like different reasons or voting purposes, and they really have to be carefully, you know, checked. So each NAB, and each NDA has an NAB inside that, those borders. Okay, each NAB consists of 12 members, and representing the low-income residents of that NDA, and the minimum age to join is 16. So as Lily was saying before, we're looking for members to join. So not only members to join, you know, as a board member. I mean, like, we're limited. I think we have like maybe one more opening on the board over here, but we also want volunteers to help, like with different roles and stuff, so that we can, you know, promote some of the activities that we support. Okay, and we support really what you support. And so, you know, like she was pushing me to meet with you and make the meeting and everything, and I was more than happy to make this meeting and everything. But now that we made this union, I would love to, you know, continue and listen to what you have to say, and say, okay, what's the next thing that you're going to be part of? We would like to be part of that also. So if we can get volunteers that would be part of the RNAB, we would be able to execute some of the ideas and the creativity that maybe you have and that we have, join it together and actually make something happen from it, instead of it just being something in the air. So, you know, that's something that we can talk about in the future. Okay, so there's 6 members that are nominated by DYCD of the 12 NAB members, and 6 that are nominated by elected public officials. So, and it has to be by the public official of that district. Because a lot of times people come with like a letter from another public official that's from a completely different district, and it's somehow it's just not accepted. All members are appointed by DYCD to two 3-year terms, and that's the maximum that they can have. All right, so our responsibilities as NAB members, there's something called a community needs assessment. So this is something that is really important. Every 2 years, we have a survey that goes out to the public. And the public gives their opinion about what they think the needs of the communities are. So what one person here at this meeting might think a need of a community is, another person might think it's something different. So, maybe you live in one neighborhood and another member may live in another area, and they may have completely different needs. So we take these surveys so that we can hear the public opinion, and we understand like where these districts that we're collecting. So let's say District NAB 14, I'm going to collect the surveys from District 14 and all of our members and all of the organizations that we can send the outreach to. And once we pull them in, District 14 is pulled, and now we could see these are the main issues in District 14. Let's use these as our priorities to try to service the population, the poverty population in this next run of our grant money. Does that make sense? Okay, so evaluating community needs according to the results of the community needs assessment to set program priorities and funding levels. And then we partner with DYCD to review and evaluate the program proposals during the RFP time, which is the request for proposal and the open submission period. Okay, and then of course we have to attend all the board meetings. Here's an NAD map. Okay, this is not an NAB map. This is an NDA map. Oops. So it's like on another map, it's like all labeled. Like if you zoom in, you could see like all these labels and stuff of all the zip codes and everything. And it's interesting. All right, and some of the NAB member benefits are that we get to contribute to the community, and the community actually has a voice and it's heard, which I think is the most empowering one. We get to make connections with developing networks, which is amazing. Also being informed about some services and the programs in the community, like we just heard today, not only from us, but also from Brooklyn College. I'm looking very much forward to you have an event in February, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a job fair, but you call it something else.
The youth conference?
Yes.
In March coming up, yep.
Yeah, oh, March. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I'd love to be a part of that. We also develop community advocacy skills. So not only do we advocate for people, but we also we refer people, and we also encourage people to advocate for themselves. Resume builder and optional travel voucher made available to members, which I don't know too much about. So I hope you don't have any questions about that one. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Hannah. With that being said, I definitely wanted to open up the floor for any board members who would like to ask questions or have any comments that they'd like to share at this moment. I've been an educator for years. I'm good at wait time.
Yeah, me too.
While we wait for others to like develop their questions, I did have a couple questions for you, Hannah. First one is, You spoke about the community needs assessment survey that is conducted as part of like the responsibilities for the NABs. When and how are those typically conducted?
So we are going to find out. It should be in 2025. We should get some information, if I'm not mistaken. If Ms. Dasgupta is here, she can confirm it. But I will definitely get you the information on that. But how is it? How is it executed? It's online, paper, and there's a QR code that people can access. Once it's in transit, we will definitely like reach out to everybody. I mean, I know like in my school personally, like we send it out to our parents, our parent committee, and they send it out. We send it by email so that we could try to do that. That's one way that I've been trying to do. I'm trying to reach out to other public schools or other just different organizations that could network it to a larger populace, so that even if it's not in District 14, I don't want to just say, oh, if it's not in my district, I'm not doing that. I want to reach out and try to get as many people as possible to fill out these surveys so that we can hear the voice of the people, so that we're not just doing a staple grant approval like we do this person got it, let's do this again. We have to really dig deep and find out what the needs of the people are.
I appreciate that. And then just clarity around, I know that part of it is you spoke about looking for members to join local NABs. For the one that is for CB14's district, do you know how many seats are currently vacant? Is that separate from the members that you were talking about? And then also outside of the 12 members, are others allowed to be present and participate in NAB's responsibilities and activities?
Okay, so there were 2 seats available on our board. I'm not sure if there's only 1 left. Other people can just be volunteers if they'd like. And each meeting of ours is always open to the population, and we actually encourage for the community to attend our meetings. We are actually looking for more visibility, so we're looking for a location that we can have our meetings and have an attraction of community members, so that we would be able to let people know what's going on. Like Ms. Dasgupta said before, people really don't know about NAB. They have no idea like what we do, like what's what's our purpose. Why do you exist? Like they don't even know that their voice counts, And so we want to let people know that their voice counts. And if, let's say, they're not part of that 20% poverty level, maybe somebody that they know is, or maybe that they, maybe they'd like to speak for them because they have an interaction or an experience. So we want to get the word out, and we're looking for a location that we can change our meetings to, so that we can have more visibility. So if you have any ideas, let me know.
Thank you, Hannah. Want to turn back to, I see a hand. Is that you, Sean?
Yeah, I think I'm sort of like double vision right now on 2 screens, but is it okay to go ahead?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I just want to, Hannah, we've talked about this before, but I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation and making some linkages to some of our community-based organizations that have youth groups, to make sure that they're energized with the work of and engaged with the work of the NAB, and then maybe to make some introductions to some of the groups that maybe haven't, are sort of more fledgling. I looked over at some of the DYCD grants that come into the district and want to, kind of connect those to other groups. I was thinking when Brooklyn College was talking today about some of their College Now and College Ready programs, to see if there could be a linkage to some of our Cure Violence groups in the district, because I know they get a lot of DYC funds. So really hope to be involved with this committee and have this committee be involved with you to make sure that we're kind of knitting this all together, because there's so many opportunities, but you've kind of articulated it really well with, bringing the ideas into action. So we'll keep in touch on that. And as far as meeting places, I'll drop some ideas to you through an email with some spots that might be open and available. And hey, Brooklyn College was just talking about trying to, support the community. So there you go there too. So we'll talk about that. But I really, really appreciate that you persisted in making sure that we got involved and that we got you on this agenda. Thanks.
Oh, it was my pleasure, honestly. You're very pleasant to work with, and you're quick on your responses, quicker than I am. I can tell you that much. But I hear you loud and clear with the Brooklyn College and the fact that they're getting funding and everything. I could honestly direct you to the right person at DYCD. So, from the email that you're going to send me, I think from there I would be able to forward you to the correct person that you would be able to actually maybe get to another level with that one. But as far as
that's great. I know Ms. Dasgupta is the borough manager for the Bronx, and I'm not sure if it's who our borough manager, Mr. Bentoncourt maybe is our borough manager, but we usually work with Sarah Marks. So any other names you have, the more the merrier.
Yeah, that's fine. But in addition, the NAB is a little bit different than DYCD. DYCD with that funding and stuff, and that connection is really important. But getting to the community outreach and getting to the awareness, building awareness and the partnerships that because he had mentioned something about that he wants to get more involved in the youth. So I think that's really important as well. And I think through NAB, I think that's where, that's one route that can happen. I think with a little brainstorming and just a little tweak of something, I think something could be, amazing and something creative. Okay. And he has the space for a lot of things, and we don't have to physically be there, to do anything, just to have that partnership, or we can just even CB14, we can titter totter on this. So it does make sense what you're saying.
Hannah, I think there's a question in the chat around when do they meet. I think it's about when do NBA meet. NAB, I said NBA. Think about basketball, y'all. But when does NAB meet? You're muted, Hannah.
Our next meeting is expected to be this Thursday at the Midwood Library on East 16th Street and Avenue J. I think it's 975 East 16th Street.
Thank you for that. I just want to make sure I got the time right. I know you said next Thursday at the Midwood Library. What was the time?
That would be at 6:30 to 7:30.
6:37. Thank you.
Okay, so if anybody would like to join us, it should be in the basement, but if you'd like to check with if you'd like to check at the desk before you go to the basement, sometimes it's changed. Okay.
Carissa, did you still have a question?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hey, good night, everyone. I'm not too sure if this question is for the wider DYCD, but what are your current marketing efforts as far as trying to get people to join?
So are you talking about the NAB or DYCD in general?
I think if you could share about the NA.
I think the question's more relevant to NAB.
Yeah, I've heard so many acronyms. I'm sorry,
You're
I'm
good,
not sure
Carissa.
which one to use right now. Sorry.
So honestly, if you want to give us your name and your email, we can give you all the information, and then we could contact you, and then we could be able to give you all the information that you need, and then you can make a decision whether you want to join or not. I could tell you from my experience, I'm in the NAB for a little over a year, I'm really very happy with all the communication and the way that they're handling every aspect of the organization. It really is very, I mean, it's very nice to be part of something that you can like help with the outreach and the community needs and the partnerships that you make, and especially listening to the voice of the community and trying to help that level that really needs to boost up to the next level. You know, uh, you never know who you help and you never know who needs the help. And we're all part of it together as one community. And it's very fulfilling.
So correct me if I'm wrong, members of the public can also join?
Yes, members of the public can join. There are like uh, things that overstep and stuff, so that each situation is different. So, that's why I said if you just give us like your name and your email address, I can give you the information, and then we could be able to brainstorm it. But it's a simple process.
Okay, so my question wasn't necessarily for me personally. I just wanted to know, like, because if you're searching for people to volunteer, I just wanted to know, like, what is being done in order for people outside in the public to know that this is an opportunity that they could volunteer for.
So, I mean, I'm not sure what DYCD does. That's DYCD's department. I'm just the chairperson of NAB 14, and that they usually do. So, I can't really give so much of that information, but like I said, if you give me your email, I can give you more information about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hannah, can I request that you also share that information with info at CB14 so we can disperse that to anybody who's also interested in having that info? Thank you. I'm gonna open up the floor one more time for any outstanding questions or thoughts that anybody would like to share at this time or ask. I'm not seeing anyone step forward to ask any questions. So Hannah, I definitely want to thank you so much for making time to be here with us tonight. And thank you so much for sharing that information. I don't know if I speak for everyone else, but you informed me a lot about the intricacy of what NAB is and the partnership between DYCD. So thank you for sharing that. And we will definitely be sharing this information with our board when we meet as well. So thank you.
Okay, that's very good to hear. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and we'll be able to better inform you, more than we've already informed you. Okay. All right, but thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to be part of CB14, and we'd maybe like to join another time for other purposes. Thank you.
We were definitely going to make that happen, Hannah. So you will be hearing from us. All right. For our last agenda item for tonight is just other business and our closing. As we kick off, we wanted to make sure that we are meeting the needs of everyone who's joining this committee and is participating for like youth service, education, and libraries. So we wanted to survey for topics of interest. So this was very informative tonight, both hearing from Brooklyn College, but also hearing from NAB/DYCD. So what are other topics of interest that committee members have that they would like for us to make sure we are aware of and are bringing to our committee as we move forward for the rest of the year?
Carissa, were you speaking? I thought, oh, she was on mute.
I was thinking out loud. Sorry.
Oh.
You want to share your thoughts with us out loud?
Well, actually, I said, was that an open-ended question?
It was to share any thoughts. We don't have to harp on it now, but the invitation is has been open to you all. So if you don't have any ideas right now, you have both me and Eric's direct email, so you can send us an email and let us know if there's any topics of interest that you guys would like for us to discuss as we move forward throughout this year. And then I wanted to make an announcement. So a part of our board bylaws is around participation. Why is that word not coming out? Participation of the public. And that means you're a non-board member. So as you guys know, our committees is open to the public. So for any public member who is with us tonight, I don't know if this relates to anybody. Yeah, I was looking like I didn't see anybody who's all right. I'm just going to put this out there if you want to share it to anyone from the public, but public members who participated in any from meetings are able to be appointed to our committee by the chairperson, as long as they just consult with both me and Eric, and we'll move forward from there. So if you know anyone from the public, make sure you share these committee meetings with them so that they can participate, because it is open to the public. And then also, if they're ever interested in joining the committee as a non-board member, that is also an option, as long as they have been to a meeting. All right, Eric, you want to close this out with our goodbyes and farewells?
I just heard from my wife that there's big emotions happening with my children, so I probably need to get going soon. So this is a good time. Back to school, a lot of feelings. I'll just say thank you to everybody who's here tonight, and thanks to District Manager Campbell and to Ornella, my co-chair. And we just appreciate all the guest speakers who came on and shared, and we look forward to sharing more. And I just want to second Ornella's point that we're looking to bring people on and cover, I don't know, advocate and work towards fulfilling our duty on what am I saying? I'm like thinking, what I'm saying is we want to bring people in and share youth services that are available for youth in our community, and talk about what's going on with the libraries. We haven't had a library guest in a little while. So I think, just people's ideas on what we need to do to kind of get the word out, make connections. And really interesting. I did not know about I feel like I'm always learning something new on the community board. I did not know about the NABs. So always something new to learn, always more services and more volunteers who are out there doing great things for our community. So anyway, that's it. And with that, I think, do we need a motion to end the meeting? We don't need a motion. We can just
You can do what you want. You're the co-chairs.
We can do it. So we're going to end the meeting, and we'll see everybody at the full board meeting, at the reception on Thursday.
Yes.
That would be a good PSA if you want to wrap it up by letting everybody know to join us Thursday.
Yes. Do you need RSVP, Sean, or can people just show up?
I would love the RSVPs because we're counting food and drinks and stuff like that. It doesn't mean you can't show up if you didn't RSVP, but I had this a mean dream today where I made the people who didn't RSVP get to the back of the line. I won't do that, but that's that's how I feel.
Well, let this be.
Anna, you too. I'll send you the invitation to make sure you have it. So join us. Get to know some of the board members that way.
Let's just say, people, commit. Don't be light with this. RSVP. Make sure there's food there.
Is there a dress code?
No, you always look sharp. You just come like you.
Yes.
I will come there in sweatpants. Don't play with me, Sean.
I've heard that these things evolve at the dance parties, so bring your dance shoes.
I was just going to say, Eric, word on the street is there's some fun activities for us. So please, I empower and encourage everyone to show up. We are going to mingle, get to know each other as a board, and celebrate the year that we're coming off of. So I hope to see everybody on Thursday. I will be there. Eric, I know you're going to be there. So please join us. It'll be great to spend time and share community together.
I'm about to RSVP right now.
Love that.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you all.
Good night.
Good night. I'm
Good night.
giving
Thank you.
RSVP now.
Super. See you there.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.